So this is the second part. This is the overall observation. This is the first time we touch the dog. I usually try to start just by saying hello to the dog, just making a contact with the dog, just seeing how the dog responds. And you do a couple of things with that. One, you make connection with the dog. Two, you get a feel for the dog and you make her or the dog trust you, which helps your examination quite a lot. As well, while you're doing this, you can feel for overall muscle mass. And you see here on the shoulder part where you have the scapula, you can feel from the shoulders before and after the scapula, which is the first sign of shoulder disease, or if you have disease coming from the spines, you see a lot of muscle mass wasting. So while you're petting the dog, that's something you can feel. You can feel if the muscles are tense, if you have a difference between the left and right of the muscle mass, or if the muscles around the scapula, you should just feel the scapula or the spine of the scapula, but nothing more, and you can just get a feel. As well, you can get a feel of the back, see if it's painful, if it's tense. You can give you a good rub, hey, how are you, little girl? And while you're doing that, you're creating trust. You can see she's a lot more relaxed than in the beginning of the examination, but also you feel, are those muscles thickened, are those painful or not? And as well, you go with the back legs, just feel how the muscles are. And this is actually creating a band with your dog, but also feeling for the difference of left and right, and the front legs and the hind legs, feeling if the muscles are swollen, if they are wasted away, feeling if there's any obvious pain. The second part, and I consider that a very, very important part, is to see, do you feel any effusion in the joints? There are 4 joints where you can easily feel for effusions. Those are the elbows, the carpal joints, the hock joints, and the stifle joints. So the elbow joints, you can feel in between the olecranon here and the epicondyles. You should feel a little dimp on the inside and the outside of the elbow. You should be able to feel a little dimp. If not, if you feel a little tennis ball on top of there, that means that the joint is swollen. But also, if you can feel there's a lot of fibrous tissue, you don't have a clear sensation of the bones, you don't have a little dimp, it might actually mean that the joints are thickened, that the joint capsule is thickened. Then you go over across the carpal joints, especially if you hold them a bit up, you should feel all the individual joints, the individual bones. If you do not, that means that the joint is swollen. You can always compare left to right. While you're doing that, you go backwards, and here you have a very important joint, the stifle joint, and you have the patellar tendon, which should feel nice and sharp on the inside of the patellar tendon. You should also have a little dimp inside of the joint, and you should clearly feel the patellar tendon on the left and on the right. And while you're going on the back side, here in between the calcaneus and the joint, you also should have a little dimp, and you should feel the collateral ligaments quite sharply. If not, that can also be a sign of effusion. While you're there, you're also palpating the common calcaneal tendon for effusion. You should have a very clear tendon in between your hands. So that concludes the part of the overall assessment, and that's part 2 of the orthopedic examination. Thank you.